Hi everyone, I'm Meenakshi and I welcome you all to Tathastu. Today is 6th of September and on this date in year 1889, Sarat Chandra Bose was born. He was a barrister, he was a lawyer, he had important contribution in our Indian freedom movement, as well as he was brother of Subhas Chandra Bose. So today is his birth anniversary, that is 6th of September, and the year when he was born was 1889. So he is Sarat Chandra Bose and this is his family picture. So let's learn some interesting fact about Sarat Chandra Bose, but before that, these are the courses which are offered by Tathastu-ICS for all of you. There is MSLV program which targets your mains examination, then NCERT module, you can register for it. Then we will be launching this PSLV targeting your prelims examination very soon. And then we have philosophy optional by Tanu ma'am. So if your optional is philosophy, you can enroll yourself. Also, you can call on these numbers and inquire about various programs, as well as you can visit this office address. So I hope this is clear to you. Now let's start with our lecture, which is about Sarat Chandra Bose. This is about his earlier life. As I said, he was born on 6th of September and the year was 1889, and he was born in Cuttack, which is in Odisha. So this was his birthplace and 6th September is his birth date. Now if we talk about his education, in 1909 he earned his MA, it was in English literature, from Presidency College in Kolkata, and then in 1911 he passed his bar exam. As I said, he was a barrister, he was a lawyer, he was a great lawyer of his time. And if we talk about his time period during 1912 and 1914, he worked as a barrister in England, not in India. So in this time period 1912 to 1914, he was in England working as a barrister or a lawyer over there, and he was a member of Honorable Society of Lincoln Inn. So this is about his time period which he spent in England between these years 1912 to 1914. Now he belonged to, if we talk about his political associations in early years, he belonged to our Indian National Congress, who started this freedom movement. So he belonged to this Indian National Congress in his early years, and he was a member of the Bengal Legislative Council. So we had these provincial councils at that time, so he belonged to Bengal Provincial or Bengal Legislative Council. Now if we talk about his role in independence movement, now there were a lot of freedom fighters who played an important role to at some extent in this freedom struggle. So he also had this important role in our freedom struggle. And in 1930, if we talk about his role, what was his contribution in freedom struggle? So in 1930, he resigned from his position as a professional. And what profession he was pursuing? He was a barrister. He joined the civil disobedience movement, the CDM, in 1930 after resigning from his profession, which was of a barrister or a lawyer. So in 1930, he resigned and joined the Indian National Movement, the civil disobedience movement. But in 1932, he was arrested and put in prison for almost 3 years because of his involvement in the civil disobedience movement. Now, there were a lot of political prisoners during this time, and there were a lot of political personalities, important personalities, which were arrested during this movement, including Mahatma Gandhi. So he was also arrested because of his involvement or participation in civil disobedience movement and put into prison for 3 years. Now he was active with, so he has this socialist inclination. If we talk about his ideology, that was his political association with Congress. But if we talk about his ideology, which ideology he preferred, so he was very inclined toward this socialist thing, and he was inclined towards the socialist aligned organizations. For example, Forward Bloc. Now this Forward Bloc was formed by his brother, and his brother was Subhas Chandra Bose ji. You can see in this picture both the brothers sitting over there. So this organization known as Forward Bloc was formed by Subhas Chandra Bose. It had this socialist ideology. So Sarat Chandra Bose was, if we talk about his ideology, so he was a bit inclined towards this socialist ideology. Now on December 1941, he was placed under house arrest. So why was he placed under house arrest? Because the Britishers had this suspension that he was joining hands, because he also supported this formation of Indian National Army, if we talk about, and during this period he was put in the house arrest because the Britishers thought that he was joining forces with the Japanese force to attack on the Britishers to get freedom for India. So he was placed under house arrest. Basically, you are under observation in your own house only. So this is what we call house arrest. So on December 11th, 1949, he was placed under house arrest because of the British suspicion that he was working with the Japanese forces to attack on the Britishers. And he spent 4 such years in such arrest. So after civil disobedience movement, he spent 3 years in jail, and during this time, just on the basis of the suspicion, he spent 4 years under house arrest. So this was such a long time. Now if we talk about his contribution to constitution making, so initially he was elected, later on he resigned. There were reasons because of which he resigned, but initially he was elected on the Bengal ticket. He was chosen on a Congress ticket to represent Bengal in the assembly. So he was a part of it initially, but later he resigned because of this division of Bengal and Punjab, and that too on communal lines. So he had this dispute, he had this disagreements with the Indian National Congress, and he resigned from his position because of his dispute with Congress on the division of Bengal, as I said, and Punjab specifically on the basis of communal lines, because we know that both these states were partitioned, both these states were divided at that time. So he was against this. So because of these disputes, he just resigned from the Indian National Congress, and thus his time in this Constituent Assembly was very brief. Now if we talk about his other contributions, he resigned from the Congress Working Committee on January 6, 1947, because he was adamant that these both states should not be divided. They are an integral part of India, and we should not divide them. So he was against this division, and that too, that division, that too on religious lines. So he was against it, and he did not wanted that country to be divided. So he resigned. And in February 1947, he began a protest movement against the Mountbatten Plan. So we all know about this Mountbatten Plan, and he worked to establish a united independent Bengal. So he had won this ticket from Bengal only, so he was bit inclined. So why would he want that his state should be divided into 2 parts, and that too in 2 different nations? So he started this protest against the Mountbatten Plan, and he worked to establish this united independent Bengal. Now if we talk about other things, he envisaged India to become a socialist republic. As I said, that he was more inclined towards the socialist ideology. So he wanted India to be a socialist republic and publish newspapers. So these are his newspaper. Let's see, because these small facts are important for your prelims examination. These newspaper which were published during the Indian National Movement can be asked and have been asked in your examination. So Sarat Chandra Bose was associated with the Socialist Republican, the Mahajati, and the Nation to voice his opinion. So these 3 were he was associated with, and he also formed this Socialist Republican Party in August 1947. So these were the newspaper he was associated with, and this was a party known as Socialist Republican Party. This is also very important for a prelims examination. These type of questions have been asked multiple times. From which party was Mahatma Gandhi associated, the All India Depressed League was formed by, and so on. So this is important, that Sarat Chandra Bose formed a Socialist Republican Party in August 1947 because he was inclined towards the socialist ideology. So that was all about him and his life, his contribution. And if we talk, he passed away in 1950. I hope you found the session interesting. If you, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.